Good morning. How are you today? So today we're going to be talking about some ways to really improve your emotional eating during this COVID-19 time. And I have some evidence-based tips that we're going to discuss. So, this time it's gotten a little better because we're able to get out a little bit more, but we're still having to social distance. And I'm hearing from a lot of people and a lot of people that I've talked to, they're still dealing with their eating habits that are not maybe the best still at this point. There's emotional eating. There's, this is bringing stress onto us, so we're stress eating. Maybe we're sitting around the house and we're just bored. There's a lot of boredom eating going on too. So I'm Kelsie Michaud, and I help people to just gain control of their emotional eating so that they can feel healthy and confident as they're making peace with food in their body. And I'm also available for complimentary consultations. I have 4 spots available this week, and that's where we can just jump on the phone for about 30 minutes, and we can dive really deep into your own health and weight goals, and we can see about taking you from where you are now to where you'd like to go. So have you been staying in and stress eating? A lot of us have been stuck home, and like I said, I know now we're able to get out a little bit more, with the guidelines, depending on where you live. Some of our restrictions have been lifted and it's maybe not so strict, but we've been home for a long time, and a lot of us are still home quite a bit. So a lot of times, we're in and we're picking at the food, sometimes mindlessly without even thinking about it, or we're just stressed and we turn to food. So today we're going to talk about 7 ways, to be exact, to actually prevent all of this so that you're not feeling like you have to, just live and eat like this anymore. So being stuck at home, it definitely has completely turned life and routines upside down for so many of us. And this has actually led to some pretty unhealthy behaviors. And those are things like, overeating, like I said, because of stress or boredom, and finding comfort in food during times of stress can have just some really negative effects on our health. And that only adds to our stress and then can increase our anxiety levels. So I'm going to give you some better ways to help you cope and improve your emotional eating during this time. So number 1, I want you to check in with yourself. So what I mean by that is one of the most helpful ways to actually prevent overeating is to understand why it's happening. So you want to know why this is even happening in the first place. Why am I just constantly going to the cupboard? Why am I constantly opening the fridge and looking and saying, what else can I eat? Well, there are many reasons why you may be feeling this way or feeling the need to overeat, which usually is because of stress or boredom. But if you find yourself eating too much or too often, especially in just one sitting, then you want to really just take a minute to take a step back and just check in with yourself. First, it's important to figure out whether you're eating because you're hungry, or does your body really need some nourishment at that moment, or maybe it's another reason entirely. So before you eat, you want to pay special attention to how you're feeling, whether it's stress or you're bored or you're lonely or anxious. Any number of these emotions can come up for us. And just simply by pausing and evaluating the situation, it can just help you understand what's driving you to overeat, and then it may help you prevent overeating in the future. So with that said, overcoming overeating, it's not easy. I understand that it is definitely not something that's an easy task to take on, but it's a common occurrence. Or if you're eating to the point of feeling really uncomfortable, you're just so stuffed and you feel like you just need to unbutton your pants, and you're just feeling just almost to the point of being sick because you're so uncomfortable. And then you have all these feelings of just shame and guilt that just weighing on you afterwards. So you want to, number 2, remove the temptations to begin with. So the cookies or that bowl of candy that's sitting on the counter may look nice visually, But this can very easily lead you to overeat, by having these tempting foods where they're easily visible. Well, that can lead you to want to snack more often, and especially when you're not hungry. So research has actually shown that like visual exposure to high calorie foods that will actually stimulate parts of your brain that control like all of your impulses, your impulse control. So that means, that may lead you to have like increased cravings and then more overeating. So for this reason, it's best to just keep those, particularly the tempting foods that like your trigger foods, just completely out of sight. And like either put them in your pantry or your cupboard, just wherever they're not easily visible, just staring at you. And to be clear, there's nothing wrong with actually enjoying a treat, on occasion, in moderation, even when you're, say, like not necessarily hungry, but overindulging in them too often is not a good thing. That's where we get tripped up, both physically and mentally. And number 3, try to maintain a healthy meal schedule. So you shouldn't change your normal eating schedule just because you're stuck at home now. So if you're used to having like say 3 meals a day, try to continue that schedule while you're working from home. So the same will go for if you like typically have like 2 meals and a snack, whatever it is your pattern was before, try to keep with that same pattern still while you're home. And I know it's definitely easy to like stray away from your normal patterns, when your day-to-day schedule gets turned upside down. So you really want to try to maintain some sort of normalcy when it comes to your eating. So it's definitely possible that you may find yourself actually changing your eating pattern to try to accommodate, your new normal. And that's okay, but just try to maintain like a regular eating pattern based on your individual needs and your preferred eating times. And also, if you're really if you just are like totally thrown off and you find yourself constantly just going to the cupboards, looking in the fridge, for something to snack on, try making a schedule that actually includes at least 2 solid meals, each day, and then follow that until you've become like just comfortably consistent with your eating habits. So, and let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is you don't want to restrict. One of the most important nutrition rules to follow is to prevent overeating, is to not to deprive yourself, or don't deprive your body of food. Your body needs nourishment, and oftentimes being overly restrictive with your food intake, or just consuming like too few calories, that can only end up leading you to binging, and then we end up binging on those higher calorie type foods, and then we're just overeating. So it's never a good idea to follow like a really highly restrictive diet or deprive yourself of food, especially during a stressful time. And research has actually shown that restrictive dieting, it's not only ineffective for long-term, for your long-term weight loss, but it also can harm you, your physical and your mental health, and then it just increases your stress levels. So number 5, let's stay hydrated. Let's drink our water, because being stuck at home gives you more time to focus on your healthy habits, including drinking enough fluids. So staying hydrated is so important for your overall health, and it may even help you in preventing your overeating when you're stressed. So in fact, actually research has found an association between chronic dehydration and an elevated risk of obesity. Plus, being dehydrated can affect your mood, your attention, and all of your energy levels, and it can also affect your eating habits. So if you need something, if you're somebody who you don't like just plain water, if you need something with flavor, you can add a few slices of some fresh fruit, or throw some berries in there to add a little boost of flavor to your water, which may help you be able to drink more water throughout the day, without adding all of that extra calories and sugars to your water. So Number 6, let's get moving, okay? Being stuck at home can affect and probably has affected your activity levels at this point for a lot of us. So that can only leave you more bored and stressed, and then you're snacking more than you want it to be. So make some time for some sort of physical activity throughout your day if you're feeling a little lost because your gym has been closed. I know my gym has been closed, and thank God it's opening finally this coming Monday. I've been patiently, or I should say impatiently waiting, and but I've been doing stuff at home. I've been doing my home workouts. Granted, it's definitely not the same as the gym, but I'm still doing something. I'm still getting some movement in every morning and going out for a walk after dinner if the weather is okay enough to do that. So, so if your activity level has changed, what you want to do is try to make some time for just something throughout the day. So if you're feeling, like I said, a little lost because your gym is closed or you're not sure what to do, just try, there's so many things out there. Even like I said, I go for a walk if you're able to get out for a walk, or there's so many like videos on YouTube you could look up. Even Pinterest has some nice workout videos. Get outside and even just take a hike, like, through some woods, or just getting out in nature makes you feel better. Or just, like I said, I get out in my neighborhood and it's great. Or we go to our park in our town, and it's beautiful, and everybody social distances, and it's a great way to just get out, enjoy the nice fresh air, and get your body moving. So anything that works for you, you still want to let out some steam physically, because when you don't do that, when you don't allow your body to actually get that movement in, that's where it's going to look for something elsewhere, and then it ends up being in the form of food. Okay, so let's get moving some way, somehow, even if it's just a little bit each day. So number 7, let's keep your overall health in mind, because during stressful times, it's so much more important than ever to keep your overall health in mind. Eating these nutritious foods is just one part of keeping yourself, healthy and happy. But practicing self-compassion and doing the best that you can, given the circumstances that we're in, is so important. This is not a time to restrict or over-exercise, or even try one of those fad diets, or don't compare yourself to others either, or focus on your weaknesses. If you're struggling with your own insecurities, body image issues, if you're having a little anxiety, use this time to actually foster a new healthy relationship with your own mind and your body. There's so many things out there that you could try, like meditation. There's great meditation apps. Try Calm or Headspace. And Insight Timer is another great one. Insight Timer is actually free. So there's even yoga. Yoga is a nice way to calm your body. Some nice stretching for your body. Some nice deep breathing you can do. So these are all some nice things that you can do to help bring your body to a nice calm space and be less stressed and less likely to stress eat. Okay, so like I said, given the certain or the current circumstances around, surrounding this pandemic right now, you may find yourself, just stuck at home, and you're stressed and you're bored, which may increase your chances of overeating. But while indulging in those comfort foods occasionally, especially during times of stress, is completely normal, overeating regularly can take on a whole, you can just take such a toll on your body mentally and physically. So these are all evidence-based tips that I'm hoping can help you control your stress eating and help improve your health. So like I said, I hope these were helpful for you, and I hope that this was, if you do find it helpful, you think someone else who might find it helpful, feel free to share. And if you have any questions at all about, the content I just covered, or anything to do with your own health and weight loss, or anything that comes up for you that you feel like you'd like to hear more about, just feel free to reach out or leave it in the comments and let me know, because I'd be so happy to get the information out there for you. So as a reminder, I am doing complimentary consultations this week, and I have 4 spots left available if you'd like to jump into one of those, and we can talk about where maybe you're feeling a little stuck, maybe you're just confused about where to go next, or you're feeling just frustrated at this point, and I can show you how I can take you from where you are now to where you'd like to go. So if that's something you'd like to look a little further into, you can PM me, you can leave something in the comments, you can just let me know whichever way works best for you. So I am going to hop off, but I hope everyone has a very beautiful day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.